We are live. Live and alive.
Oh, good morning.
So we decided to try a new thing here that might become a morning ritual. We're going to call it Mario Mondays. And we're going to wake up. We're going to start our week with a little bit of Super Mario and start it off with maybe the most iconic Super Mario of them all, Super Mario World.
Yeah, I have almost no experience with this game, having not owned a Super Nintendo, just watching it for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a fun idea, especially having played, multiple Marios. And we were kind of joking about the fact that there's probably enough Mario content to just last us a lifetime if we just wanted to play Marios every Monday for
Yeah,
ever.
forever, without a doubt. And
So,
if we ran out of it, more Mario stuff would have been made. Just
also true.
being made. There's no more voluminous franchise than Mario. Um, so yeah, I'll just say real quick here. Um, yeah, this is the first console that I owned, or my family owned when I was a kid, was a Super Nintendo, and this was the pack-in game. I think my dad brought home Super Nintendo with two controllers, Super Mario World, and one of the Madden games, right around 93 or 94. And put this in our hands and played it all the way through. I don't know how quickly and exactly which year we actually finished this, but I remember going all the way through and beating Bowser as a very small child with my sister. I think she played it as well, and we did a little bit of puzzling out some stuff, I'm sure. So this game is like very significant for me in terms of nostalgia and everything, and I recently replayed it. So right now we're running it on the analog Super NT, and picked this up earlier this year, about 4 or 5 months back, and this was, I think, the first game that I, in spirit of it being the first game I ever had as a child, it was the first game that I beat on the Super NT. So if we go in here, this is my save file, the A1, and you'll see it has a star next to it and 96. So that number, it seems like it would just be, oh, this is how many levels you've beat, but it's how many exits you've gone through, which is a slightly different thing. In Mario, some of the levels have secret exits, and this counts how many exits you've gone through, and you get that star when you've completed all of them, which is a fun thing to go through, and I think we'll see how we do. We should be able to do it, but there are some kind of pretty decent endgame challenges to get that.
So, does that mean that there are exactly 96 exits in this game? Is that what you're?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the developers really wanted to get to 100?
I've wondered that too. I've looked at that number and thought, and it's exits, it's not levels. I thought four, you could have done four more exits, but exits have to go somewhere, so it does kind of change the whole structure potentially, and it might have gotten unwieldy. But yeah, it seems like it would have been very satisfying to see 100, but 96 is what they got.
My initial thought when I read that number was like, because you were like, oh, I completed it. And I was like, oh, interesting, like a 96% complete or something.
Mm-hmm.
And like maybe something over 95 is considered a fully complete game.
Mm-hmm. I didn't 100% complete it. It doesn't give you a percentage, but there are two things to that. There's getting all of the exits, and then there's getting all of the dragon coins. And they don't track getting all of them, but I don't have all of them. Maybe we'll be able to pull that off. But uh, that's a little bit more backtracking, and it's a whole thing because you have to either track which ones you haven't gotten, or you have to comb through all the levels again. But there's a little bit of like a scene when you've completed getting all of it, so the game does know, and I think it like rains coins basically.
Hmm.
But there's no extra content or anything like that, or like altered world the way there is with getting all the exits. So we're gonna start a new file. We're gonna do a 2-player game. So we're not in the Mushroom Kingdom. But Princess Toadstool is missing again, and Bowser's at it again. And what is this strange dinosaur land is kind of the question. Yeah, the music in this game is just... The sound design on all levels just is amazing for me. I think it's the best. So this is a little beginning spot here that you have in the middle of the first... Go ahead.
Wait, what goes on?
This is just kind of like this isn't a level, I guess, is what I'm saying. But they start you out, because if we remember, if you're in 91, you've gotten a lot of promotion. The cover of the game has Yoshi, so Yoshi is sort of the big thing, right?
Mm-hmm. And now, is this the first time we're seeing Yoshi?
Mm-hmm. It is. So this is the introduction of Yoshi. And
I didn't know Yoshi had 5 toes.
Oh, I didn't either. Well, is there... Yeah, there is 5 there. Sorry, I'm not home, but I've gone to rescue my friends who were captured by Bowser. Okay, so there are other Yoshis that were captured, maybe, or something? Like, who are Yoshi's friends?
Hmm.
You'll see a lot of theming around these colors. Blue, red, yellow, green. You can see it on Mario. It's the elements of Yoshi, Mario's super cape, and his outfit, and then the lettering and everything.
Mm.
So yeah, they seem to really want to make Yoshi a thing, Yoshi's house, and they start you off with 2 choices right off the bat. And this is kind of adapted from Super Mario Bros. 3, where you have this whole overworld thing. So that's a carryover from that game. An overworld where you can choose where you're going to go and everything. The first 2 games did not have that.
I would substitute out this mechanic of going from level to level over many of these full world giant games.
Yeah, me too. So I guess that would be an overworld versus a open world.
Yeah.
So we're already showing off some 16-bit tech here with these bombs that are coming through. I mean, the overall thing, colors, everything is...
Can you jump on the lion mouth there?
No.
Okay.
You can spin jump on it.
Gotcha.
I might give you a little control tutorial here in a sec, but... So,
Oh, that's a cool mechanic.
there's that, and you hit select and you can
Drop
swap
it to
it
yourself.
for what you currently have. So those are the dragon coins. And those bombs just are so striking in my memory. To pick up a shell, use the X or Y button. To throw a shell upwards, look up. So press up and let go of the button. So holding it.
Ooh.
So these empty box spaces
Mhm.
will come into play pretty early on here. The reason Standard flower power. The reason I'm going left is because I'm gonna try to fill in those sooner rather than later. Alright.
Nice.
So the way two-player works is if one player who is playing either finishes a level or dies, control goes to the other player, which I think is a nice fair way of doing it.
So then this thing likely gets you whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So should I go up and follow you, or should I go to the right?
It might take away your whole turn, but going to the left makes the most sense. But you can just go to the right because it's not like any big deal.
Oh, I wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a small change, but yeah, go for it. It's kind of fun to experience these. So these are the switch palaces.
Alright, I gotta figure out. Okay, you got basic jump,
Mm-hmm.
spin jump. Do your tap things do anything?
L and R will shift the camera view, and I think they'll tutorialize that at some point. But if you hold R right now, is it going to shift the view? Yeah, you can't do it in this.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, there
there
we
you
go. So if you're like trying to have Mario tucked
You
into
try
the
to get
left
all
or right,
these? Is there like a time limit?
yeah, there's a time limit, so you're just kind of getting as many as you can. It's pretty short.
Okay. Okay, and then holding X or Y and running gets you your.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be fun. You'll be commanding Luigi in no time.
When, because I had the NES, I distinctly, 1 second, Switch Palace. Power of the Switch you've pushed will turn blank boxes into exclamation points. Your progress will also be saved. I remember somehow I learned that you could play as Luigi on that very first Mario game. And that pretty much was like what I did from there on out playing that game. And it was just kind of because it was the alternate player. I'm not sure if you had that when you were little, but sometimes like the alternate not base thing was like the thing to go after.
Mm-hmm. It was like a cool, felt more unique than the default.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoops, I.
Also, I just have a thing with the color red. Not so much as an adult, but as a kid, that it wasn't like my favorite color. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you had a red popsicle or a blue popsicle, I was gonna take the blue popsicle.
Yeah, it wasn't a great flavor. I agree with that. Cherry, the
Yeah.
artificial cherry flavors. So here's Yoshi. That was it. He's born. A hero is born. They are, I don't know, Yoshi's sex. Lays eggs, so. To do a spin jump, press the A button. A Super Mario spin jump can break some of the blocks and defeat some of the tougher enemies. So there's 5 dragon coins in each level. Oh no. And if you get them all, you get a 1-up. 1-ups are very generous in this game.
This game marks the middle of this area. By cutting the tape here, you can continue from close to this point. Nice.
So yeah, there's little markers, restart points in the levels. In this game, which it's just like the third one, but if you hold jump when you are coming down on an enemy, you'll vault higher than you would if you're not, like that. So yeah, here's the first
What do
sighting of.
and like what do the exclamation points do?
They fill out the world and in ways that make it easier, I guess. And
Because like that one in particular doesn't do too much.
no, most of them aren't crazy. There's a couple that are pretty helpful in getting secrets, but outside of that, it's just like makes a thing or two more convenient.
In this one, do you ever get to the point where you are eating enemies and laying eggs and they follow you?
No, that's
No, that comes in the next one.
yeah.
Wait. You guys did a whole level. I wasn't even there. So in theory, could you be beating this game at like just like taking on different parts of the map while you're doing it? Does it split often?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. In a way, it doesn't really split. Like you can't just veer off on the norm. Like you're not like faced with go to this world or that world, but you do have these secret exits that I was talking about, and just ways to. It's like the warp pipes. You can just blast your way to Bowser basically if you know.
Am I just missing a bunch of stuff by being up here?
So the thing about this game, I'll say, is that for better and worse, it's Mario moving into exploration. Super Mario moving more into exploration than in the past. So and there are lives aplenty and everything. So feel free to just explore around, and it's kind of the joy of the game on some level is all the stuff. Well, you discovered something there.
Okay, so with Yoshi's jump, does he just have a standard jump? And then this spins you off in?
Yep, so that's how you dismount Yoshi.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can run with Yoshi. He's going to start by doing the tongue thing, but then you're going faster.
Gotcha. And then
Um,
I could theoretically jump higher, I'm assuming?
yeah, when you're running. And then when you eat Koopas, depending on the color, they're going to do something differently, which is a pretty fun mechanic.
Yeah, that's cool.
Love all of the music in this game, all of the sounds. It's just... For me, this game, its strength is in... Anyway, you can jump.
That's what you were saying.
Oh yeah, this is another thing that if you're in water and you're like wading through and you're at the top, you want to hold up to get a big jump up out of the water when you're near the top. But yeah, what I was saying is that this game's one of the things that really sticks out for me is the art. It's something that like right now we're playing it and it's displayed on an LCD screen,
Mm-hmm.
and it just looks so good even with these like crisp chunky pixels. It doesn't really, like, certain games leave me wanting to be playing on a CRT
Mm-hmm.
to get the real experience of it, but Super Mario World, the art is just... I don't know if it's just the fact that the art is so good, but it's at least so... It is really good, but it's also so flexible that it looks great in this kind of raw pixel view that it wasn't really designed for, and it looks great on a CRT, if that makes sense. There was some dragon coins hidden. So that's like an example of there's some extra coins out there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
those points at the end, every time you get 100 of them, you get an extra life. So
Nice.
if you hit the ribbon on the goalpost there, I guess as they call it, or the tape, then you get, the higher the tape is, the more points.
Fishes.
So yeah, the art and the sound is just, it's just like a whimsical, joyful
Oh, is that?
game. I don't think it's as strong as some of the early ones. I do have some nitpicks in terms of the mechanics.
Can I bounce on this thing, or is it too pokey?
Feel free to just test it out.
You just let me do that.
But try it spinning and see what happens.
Forget about this spin gem. And what are these? I can only Yoshi eat those?
Oh, Yoshi can eat them. Yeah, they're little Yoshi cherries, and I think I forget the exact
Oh, I can kind of bounce off them.
mechanic around those, but if you eat enough of them, you get, I think maybe it's just a mushroom. Oh yeah, you can slide down hills too.
How do you do that?
Press down, yeah. And that'll bust you through enemies. It's slick. So to wrap up my
Gotcha.
thought I had there, you I think you can you regenerate it again? Oh, nice.
Oh.
That I don't know if that'll regenerate. So I think that the game, Mario controls as well as he ever has, and everything, and the level design is as good as it ever was in a way. You know, this is the fourth Super Mario game, but I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with Yoshi because
Oh,
to me,
come
moving around, like pure movement, just the moment-to-moment gameplay of Yoshi isn't as fun as Mario.
on.
And exploring isn't necessarily as fun to me as tight Twitch platforming.
Mm-hmm.
That said, the change of pace and everything is fun, but I come down here.
Mm-hmm.
But oh, you can't flower those. Oh, this is a little shortcut.
Oh, nice.
If you're going back through a level or whatever. So we'll probably, this first world especially is pretty short. We'll probably just get through. Oh man, I've done that before. I kind of launched the shell and then shot it at the same time. I don't know if I can get it to come back. But as you showed, you don't need it to get this.
Nice.
Meow, meow, meow. Oh,
Does that count as getting it right there?
no. They're like, here's a single coin as a consolation.
For that, are you trying to get over it or just touch it?
Just touch it, yeah. I think if you touch it at the very top, it's 50, and I'm like really happy if I get 40 or whatever.
If Luigi had some type of self-awareness, he'd be like, I really don't like that the new guy is playing me right now. It's
I feel kind of dicey about it.
Okay, so when you're on that thing, are you just pretty much on that thing? Like, can
Ye-
you can't really like harm the turtles.
You can. So you can punch them if you press Y, so the left button, the run button. Yeah, when they're on the back side, but not the front side.
Okay,
Yeah, it's got a nice satisfying.
that's funny.
And then when they're on the same side as you, I think these change to question marks from coins, maybe, or something. I can't remember what it does. No, yeah, it's something else. Um, and then if you're as kind of par for the course with Mario, most things that don't have spikes or whatever, you can bop on the top. So if they're on the front, like if you were above him, yeah, you would bop his head.
I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty satisfying.
I saw you, Flame. This is cool.
Those little things will switch the side that you're on.
Oh, like you can go on the other side.
Through these squares
Interesting.
if you punch. And yeah, you just press up to grab, just kind of like if you were climbing a vine.
What do we got here? Point of advice. One of Yoshi's friends is trapped in the castle by Iggy Koopa. To defeat him, push him into the lava.
Oh yeah. First boss.
I just was going after coins. I didn't realize. Oh, you could be down. Or I'm little, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, I think maybe you'd
Gimme, gimme, gimme.
still want a duck. I don't know for sure.
I
I
like
think
the
that.
slight push that the game's giving you.
Hmm.
Classic door. Okay, so bopping him kind of pushes him.
Hmm.
I did it.
Dark Souls boss 1 defeated.
Uh, wait, so I'm not entirely sure. I know how I beat him, but I wasn't sure how he hurt me other than the thing he threw. Could I just keep running into him?
You can't touch him, but you can
Like as
hop
long as
on
you're
him.
bouncing on him.
Hmm.
Because at one point I was very close to just being on the ground. And so it felt like, oh, can I just run at this boss?
Hmm. It was the way it works is whichever way the platform is tilting, they'll slide. So if there's any challenge, it's making sure you're not just like sliding them left and right and fully pushing them off one side.
Mm-hmm. Mario has defeated the demented Iggy Koopa. He wasn't around long enough for me to really get the demented flavor,
No.
but I believe him. In Castle Number 1 and rescued Yoshi's friend, who is still trapped in an egg. Together, they now travel to Donut Land.
Trapped in an egg? Or, huh, so the eggs are traps?
Perhaps.
Interesting.
Well, male dinosaurs can trap you in an egg, but they can't rebirth a new thing.
That's
I
true.
felt-
That well, yeah, it seems like Yoshis do the trapping of the eggs. So why? Who trapped this Yoshi? An evil Yoshi?
I just, yeah. Were they forced in, forced fed another Yoshi?
I don't know. That's a question. So this is Donut Land now. Donut Plains 1. It's
All
gonna
right.
be tough to not play this for a week and then do the next world and so on. But we're gonna pace it out.
That's where we're at.
Um, so yeah, that's the first world of Super Mario World, a game that launched with the Super Nintendo and is often gonna be in the top 3 of greatest games on the system, along with A Link to the Past that will tend or and Super Metroid, you get kind of those three a lot of times at the very top, which is kind of wild, you know, the pack-in day one game being one of the greatest games on the console, and it also ends up a lot of times being right near the top of greatest games of all time, etc. So yeah, it's a rock solid classic, stone cold classic.
You made another video explaining this, and I don't know if you said this earlier on in this video because I know you talked about the exits.
Mm-hmm.
But did you talk about like the color of the spots you're on and like the indicator?
Not today, but yeah, and that when I've talked about it earlier, yeah. So these ones all have a single exit because they have this golden yellow coin-like color, and you can kind of see it under Luigi. But we're have our first red icon, so this is our first level that has multiple exits, and I think there's a whoops. There's a way to just pause it there. There's a way to look around the map. I don't know what button it is, but yeah, what we were looking at there is our first. Okay, there's this castle, this like haunted house over on the right, and then the sort of grayed out path on our left, and you sort of see like, seems to be more than meets the path here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's Super
Cool.
Mario World. Any probably don't really have any first impressions. It's just Mario so far.
Yeah, Mario Monday. I mean, it's fun. It's noticeably different compared to like the original, both in terms of what it's capable of art wise. The music's, I wouldn't say the music's better. I would say the music is just like they're showing off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they're doing more with the music, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously we have Yoshi. It just seems like there's a lot of cool things. And I'm not as familiar. I'm skipping Mario's here because I'm not as familiar with 2 and 3, which I know introduced some of what we're seeing. I played a little bit of the Mario 3, and that game visually looks way more striking
Then the first one,
than the
there's a lot
first
of
one. Yeah,
additions. Yeah.
yeah. Which is more in line with this, I would say, kind of like more of this like rounded grass top features and mushroom things. And
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, not too much, just pretty visually pleasing, pretty pleasing to like move people around so far.
Right. Yeah. It's always just feels good to control. I'm noticing these are like bushy trees in the background on
Yeah,
this mountain, like evergreen looking trees. I hadn't really like processed those as that.
I always have to fight the urge on when playing games with like this when I'm describing them to people to be like, yeah, no, this is a pretty good game. When it's like obviously one of the best games
Yeah,
of all
yeah.
time, but you sort of say it as though it's like, yeah, I don't know, I'm like pretty good at understanding what are good games, and then you're like, of course, it's one of the best games.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I mean
I mean, it's good to
it
validate it in your head, but
yeah, that's kind of your
yeah,
at
it's
the
just
end of the day. I mean, some people don't like this game, I'm sure, but and I have some things I don't love about it, but I do at the end of the day I'm like, wow, this game is amazing in a lot of ways. So, all right. So we'll see you next Monday. We're going to try to record these on the day and date and then release them right afterwards. So like last week, we won't get into it, but last week was the Game Awards. So there might be weeks where we're not playing Mario for the very first time and talking about it. And we're just blabbing about the last week, and it'll kind of line up with when the video goes up. Uh, so that's the idea with that. And we'll see you in 7 days.
have a good rest of your Monday.